Hey, it's John. I'm going to talk to you really quickly about how to deploy CloudPoint out of AWS. The first thing you need to do is go into the AWS Marketplace. You can search for Veritas and you'll find Veritas NetBackup CloudPoint. Once you get there, you just need to go through the launch steps to get in there into CloudFormation. Now, CloudFormation is basically a template that AWS has that allows you to automate operations like this deployment. To do this, you simply just make sure you got to give it a stack name, which I often forget to do and have to go back and do at the end. You can pick your OS versions, the instance sizes, and volume sizes. There's some recommended values in there, but based on your usage, you might want to use different values. After you come up with this stuff, it's relatively straightforward, especially if you're doing a new deployment. All you need to do is set it up to be in the VPC you want it to be in. So you have a pre-existing VPC. You can specify that. You specify that, the subnet, and those are probably the major things. Now, you got to put the availability zone in there and the CIDR as well, but that's pretty much the most complicated part of this. There are things you also might want to supply, such as like the elastic IP. I would recommend provisioning an elastic IP and stuff like that, so you don't have to deal with that ever changing. And there's a few other things about that you might want to do here, which you have to use proxies so often, stuff like that you have to do, and various other things. Now the CIDR block notation, remember, you get that right, and you can usually, if you look up above, you can kind of reference it on what you want based on the subnet. From that point, you just need to specify what you want the username is for a CloudPoint instance, and make sure you get the password in there. Now, there, of course, is a secure certificate that gets generated, and if you feel like you want to be able to use a few different names to work with this machine, you can specify them there, and they'll get added to the certificate to avoid any problems. Now, finally, you just basically pick the key pair. And after that, I mean, there's some advanced options you can do in CloudFormation, such as things like rollback behavior. I tend to disable it just in case if there's some problem. I can go look at the system, but if you don't, it just basically if something fails, it just rolls back and tells you what the issue was. After that, all you need to do is simply just review the things, acknowledge that checkbox, and hit create stack. So what happens now is it's going to go through and do this creation process. So this means that it's going to build out the instance. It's going to create the right storage scenarios. It's going to get everything set up for you. And so you can monitor this and various things will happen. There's steps that go through there to get you where you need to be. So if you look here now, we've got the stack is running, and there's a few things we can look at while it goes. I like to pull this template up. This is something handy you can copy. You can take this and modify it for your own usage if you want to do some automation or anything like that. The stack info is here. You can kind of look through all this stuff as you try and learn it, and as this will continuously update as the events do. As you can see, some things are complete, some things are in progress. Eventually what you want to do is get to the whole thing is complete, and that will come up here. Let's refresh and see this really come up, and there you can see that the whole stack is create complete right there, and everything's over there on the side. And that gets you to where you need to go. And now you can come over here, and I can see my instance is running here, and it is all ready to be configured with the NetBackup instance I set up in the previous video. The next video will show you how you combine the two for the complete cloud protection with Veritas NetBackup.